So AI feeding into this. Obviously, at the moment, quality of code produced by LLM models is not great. You could develop sort of standardized interfaces for software and have correctness guarantees specified through type systems. Unfortunately, you still need a human expert to specify those in order to be able to guarantee some level of correctness. So ultimately, some sort of human will be required somewhere in the loop, even if AI tools are used to help generate code and accelerate development. Does that answer the question?
I guess no, it really does. Thank you. I'm really wondering about human peer review because we're all under quite heavy peer review stress, and if there's even more computational code coming out, it feels that there's a missing gap here in making it easy for humans to review and visualize scientific results. And I'm just wondering if that's one of the connective things that we need to spend more time engineering in order to make it easier to distinguish between what is LLM generated, what is the what is synthetic data, and then where do we focus our human attention to make sure that we get the best kind of bang for buck when it comes to the results of scientific computing.
Um, that's interesting in a sense because it sort of mirrors the experience of actually using LLM agents to do coding. Your Anybody that's tried it finds that they spend more time trying to review and correct what the LLM agent might produce. In a sense, that's similar to training an apprentice, for example. It's not quite the same because with a human apprentice, you have that human connection that you're teaching them new skills, and you can see them onboarding those skills over time. With LLMs, it's just repeated effort thrown into the void. Sometimes it pays off, sometimes it doesn't. For open source projects, accepting contributions, it gets a little bit more difficult because you might get a flurry of people contributing code, and that's asymmetrical in a sense, right? You might get a lot of quality contributions, or you might get a lot of junk coming through. I don't really have an answer as to how you could manage that situation appropriately. Ultimately, we'll still rely on human reputation, and it might just lengthen the cycles for contributors to gain trust in specific projects.
Okay. One very quick last question. Sorry, this this is
Go
less of a
ahead.
question and more of a comment following on Anil's talk. But me and Zach down there, we've been working a lot on program synthesis with large language models, and well, something I had in mind was thinking about large language models as a form of program synthesis as a form of metaprogramming. So you sort of, well, I work a lot on metaprogramming, and there I deal with abstract syntax trees, and I was quite inspired by
Mhm.
AGDA and way back when epigram. We've got sheds or holes,
Yeah.
typed holes in which we can perform generation, and so I've been building a language where you can have holes in like as in place of an AST subtree, where and in that hole you can insert a prompt, or you can have a prompt plus the old subtree, and you can say, okay, this subtree doesn't do what I want for this reason, and then what that does is it limits. Well, I have an interpreter that limits the LLM execution to only that subtree, and I think that could be quite a nice way of helping people who have some rough understanding of programming, but maybe don't know the nuts and bolts of how to implement a specific function to do that. It's sort of a generative way to call a particular library or write the code that might be standard, but you might not know how to do. But you can see the overall structure, and I think this will help with verification as well, because right now when you ask Cursor or some LLM agent to perform a change, it changes a lot of different things in your program, and it's really hard to see semantically what the change is. But if you know that it should only change a very specific thing, and you know what specification you want for that component, then I think it becomes a lot easier to verify.
I agree in general with everything what you said. All the things that you've described are more akin to how fear improvers work, right? You have a type hole, and because of the type annotation on the hole, you can steer the LLM to generate something that is appropriate. Now, obviously, the more powerful of a type system that you have, the better that process can become. Obviously, with dependent types, you get a level of guarantee that is better than say less complicated type system. Now, there's other type systems as well. For example, if you look at multi-party session types that describe communication behavior rather than just a spatial type system, you can start to reason about sequences of actions or chains of functions that your application might execute.
Great, thank you.
Okay.
Thanks very much, Cristian. I think we better stop there and move on to the next talk. But yeah, let's thank the speaker again.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
And please do ask questions to Cristian online on the Discord. Hopefully he can pick them up.